Once upon a time, there was a green dream in, of all places, Central California, the agriculture capital of the universe. In this place, where green things grow, a few leaders decided to build something as green and natural as the region itself. It had to be safe and sound. Students would reside inside, but it needed to be green and grand, so that the young minds could actually learn and dream green from the outside in. Dream green dreams like walls of sugar.
This is sugar cane.
So build it they did, and now this truly green and wondrous place exists. Green and glorious, earth-friendly and standing proud with total regard for the environment surrounding it. Common sense green reigns supreme in this new mecca of earth-friendly knowledge, a living and gleaming example of what can be done when thoughtful designers and builders, and yes, even administrators, put their thoughtful minds to it. It's a green way of building that many dreamed of. Practical, useful, and renewable. See how they did it right here and right now as we take you through the new mecca of green. A giant test tube with walls and panels and green technical things we never imagined. Step into the future. Go inside the Buchanan Energy Center on this edition of Green Universe. This edition of Green Universe, inside the Buchanan Energy Center, is brought to you by IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Union Pipe Fitters, Plumbers, Service Technicians, Sprinkler and Steam Fitters, and by the Mechanical Contractors Council of Central California. These organizations are proud to be part of the advancements in green construction.
To the reality of Green Universe. I'm Rich Krebs, and I'm going to walk you through some of this project with the man that had his thumb on the pulse of this entire deal, Mr. Mark Alvis with Alviston.com. And I tell you what, to put something like this together and make everything flow and fit with the construction, with the architecture, the design, the breakthroughs, and all the technology that's come into this, somebody had to be in charge of a lot of this. Mark, how are you, sir? It's good to see you.
Oh, good to see you.
Good. I'm blown away. Just driving up to this structure, you see some angles and a little bit of metal and this and that here and there. It doesn't do justice to the complexity of how this whole project has been put together. And you've been here since the first shovel went into the ground.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot.
A lot.
About 3 or 4 years ago. It's not just the complexity of the building, but the whole program, the process of getting the funding and the money and the design and all that stuff. We can talk about a few things today.
Take me inside and show me a little more of how this thing came together.
Let's go see it.
All right.
So this is a cutaway of the room that we're actually in. We're standing about where this lady is here. So we're surrounded by concrete. We're standing on concrete. But the special thing about the floor is that it's actually going to be the heater for the building.
Beautiful.
It has tubing embedded in the concrete that will have hot water run through it, and it will be able to actually provide the heat for the building.
Okay.
In here, this is the second classroom building, which we haven't been in yet because it's just been finished as far as the ICF goes. What you're looking at on the floor is the underslab insulation. This is actually insulation. And what these gentlemen over here are doing is they're going to roll out this plastic tubing, which is called PEX.
I've taken the both buildings, the north and south, which we're on the south right now,
Yeah, you've already done the north.
and then I've blown up your actual pages and then color coordinated each zone.
And they're going to follow these coded lines that you see painted on the floor, and the plastic will be embedded in the floor, and hot water will be run through it. That will heat the slab, and that's what's going to heat the building.
That's it.
This is the manifold system where all the PEX tubing comes up.
PEX tubing.
PEX tubing. Polyethylene cross-linked tubing.
Thank you.
Heat rises. Why not start it at the bottom and then bring it up through everything?
There's a comfort factor. You know, if you've ever been in a radiant heated floor, it's nice and warm. It's very comfortable type of stuff. And then there's an efficiency factor, and that's created by actually how it works. And here's one of the beauties of this building is that they've made it so you can see literally right into the floor, and you can see how the radiant floor heat is.
Fabulous.
This is one of the prominent features of the new Buchanan Energy building. It's the cowl wall windows, which are just massive. It's a translucent type of window, so you can't see through it, but it lets light in. When we go and see it on the inside, you're going to really be surprised.
The light is, you've even thought about the angle of the sun and how it's going to bounce through here then and change the natural lighting of this building.
Yeah, John Smith, the designer of the building, really was into natural light, as you can tell. He used many different types of natural light, from skylighting to reflected light to something, these like translucent panels. This isn't electric light. This is just light from the sky, from the sun. And it provides this really nice, pleasing light. For one thing, it's more healthy. And for the other thing, obviously, we're not spending any money powering lighting. This is just,
You mean we're not cycling through this whole whatever megahertz translation that happens with the fluorescent light where you just get a headache after a while?
No, none of that. And also in here, it's very hard to see, but there's a little photo sensor. So when there's enough light in the room that's coming in from natural light, it automatically turns off the other light.
Beautiful. So when we come back to the Green Universe, how did they find the funds to make all of this happen, and especially these days, plus the masterminds behind the Buchanan Energy Center?
This portion of Green Universe inside the Buchanan Energy Center is brought to you by Max Hayes Plumbing. In business 6 decades and still evolving to meet your needs.
We've done the majority of all the multi-story buildings on the north end of town. The 6-story off of Highway 41, 3-story off of Bryan Avenue. It was very interesting. I mean, it took a lot more time than a normal bid and spec job because we had to do a lot more research and kind of cover the bases. Even though it was engineered and designed, there was a lot of unknown factors on the engineer's part that we had to bring to their attention. And just the process to get the piping in that facility was pretty amazing. And hopefully it will transfer over to other projects, and they'll learn from the, so to speak, grief that we ran into at times. Yeah.
Do you see a value in that kind of construction, or is it just a nuisance?
No. It's going to be the thing of the future, especially with all the stimulus money, so to speak, that's leaning towards the LEED type projects and conservation of different materials and on and on. So it's going to be something that you're going to have knowledge in. So we were very fortunate to be involved with that project and add to our experience out there.
Yeah, so Max Hayes Plumbing being on the list is a good thing.
Definitely. My grandfather started, as an apprentice and then became a journeyman, and then he started his own business in '48.
Hello, welcome to Alviston.
There's a lot of good in green. You just have to know where to find it. Alviston.com. Visit the new Alviston.com, center of the green universe.
Now, looking at this is typical California construction, stucco wall. You would think by the texture and the feel and how everything comes across. But I tell you what, knowing Mark and being involved in this project, there's a lot more involved than just your typical stucco and that whole stick construction, Mark. Tell me, you've done a lot more to this project than I'm looking at.
Yeah, it turns out looking pretty normal, but it's anything but normal. This is a ICF, an insulated concrete form wall, which is quick to build, very energy efficient, and very green.
This is Straight Talk with Bill McEwen on 1300 Chino. And now we're going to go to Mark Alvis.
Making a lot of progress. I was here about a week ago and there's hardly any walls up. Now looks like they're halfway up.
This is the Buchanan Energy Center that they're building. And it's going to be made out of something called insulated concrete forms. if you were to come by and drive by and look at it, it may look a little bit odd because it looks like they're building a building out of giant Legos.
The logic stack just 2 courses high, and inside the wall, to get a good shot of that, you see the rebar going left and right, running down the middle, and the vertical pieces coming out. It has all the proofs. It's bug-proof, nearly fireproof, massively strong, quite soundproof. This is the elevator shaft. They're actually going to have an elevator in the building.
Well, they actually poured some concrete in here.
Yeah, so this got poured first, along with the test wall. This will go up as an integral part of the second building.
I mean, phenomenal construction, both sound, the thermal insulation, and there's a lot of reasons to be using this.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There is a learning curve for anybody who's not done it before. It's a little bit different, but for concrete contractors, they once they've seen it, they see it just as another forming system for concrete. The electrical and plumbing is mounted right into the foam, so that's pretty unique. It's a material that I think its time has come.
And properly identified.
Yeah. It's a whole...
So they have to run it for 30 days before students come in?
Before the LEED, it gets LEED certificate.
Oh, LEED, right.
So while at the same time this building was being finished, we were in a financial crisis, with pay reductions and things like that happening to employees. That money couldn't have been used for that anyway. And I think as a financial crisis like this is a relatively short term. I know it could be 2 or 3 years that we're in this financial crisis, but a building's going to be here for 50 years or more. So you got to really think big picture, long term when you're talking about spending facility dollars. And you got to have the courage, I think, as a leadership person to think that way and not let a short term, crisis keep you from doing what's right for the community and for the kids. Our community has always expected the best facilities for their kids. It goes back to Dr. Buchanan, who founded this district, that's what our communities had and they expect, and the reason they pass bond measures, like many communities don't, because they expect the best facilities for their kids. We think we're right on the cutting edge of what alternative energy has to offer kids.
Hello, everybody. We're going to start. My name's Mark Alvis. I'm just going to show you around because I know a little bit about what's going on here. And once the concrete is poured, they become the attachment. John Smith, the architect, is going to talk more in depth of the overall site.
The site's huge. I think they're probably familiar. And then we have two shop-type classrooms. The biggest challenge of this project was creating a school building that actually becomes a teaching tool. It's exciting from the standpoint that we're creating a building to teach young students and the community alike about 2 of today's most important topics. Alternative energy and sustainable design.
So what I'm looking at, and these pipes are coming off the roof. This is rainwater collection, filters down, and of course you had to make it look pretty.
Yeah.
But there's total functionality.
Yeah. Water is one of our main issues, right? Especially here in the valley. It's pretty much a desert. So they're saying, hey, we can collect the water when it does rain, and it gets transferred. It comes off the roof and gets transferred into this system. It's a water cistern. Okay. And they'll be able to use that water to water the green roof and the drought-tolerant plants that they have here.
Beautiful.
The building itself is a learning tool.
Up next, we're going to take a little trip up to the roof and see what cools and powers the Energy Center and find out just how does that garden grow when we come back to Green Universe.
This portion of Green Universe inside the Buchanan Energy Center is brought to you by AC Electric, proud to be part of the Energy Center project.
Here with Mr. Chris Ford, AC Electric. How are you, sir?
Doing well, thank you.
Good, good.
Well, it was a neat project because it covers so many different aspects of the solar. You have various types of solar panels. You have wind turbines. You have cisterns that were put in there. Every aspect of ecological consideration was really looked at on that job. We did top to bottom all the electrical aspect of it.
Now, Chris, AC's reputation is, phenomenal in the industry of what you've done, things in the past. Are you really looking forward now to the new technologies coming out and then putting your own twist on how to implement those?
Absolutely. We've been very involved in solar moving forward, large scale, all the way down to residential, and it's constantly changing. And it doesn't take a lot for us to be able to go in and analyze what your yearly usage is and go ahead and put together a package to show you various choices that you could select from to determine what fits best for your corporation or your home.
Some of the concern in the beginning was that we're trying to move even into some of these greener projects, but the expense was too high. You're finding now that as that technology advances, that expense is coming down and making it a lot more affordable to more people.
It has, and things are getting more compact too, so they're less obtrusive when you're putting up a lot of the solar and all that.
IBEW, the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Union Pipe Fitters Mechanical Contractors Council of Central California. These organizations are proud to be part of the advancements in green construction.
Yeah, there are 2 additional turbines that are coming in a little bit. These are just what you'd kind of normally see, but even the rest of this building, there's nothing really normal. So this is a wind turbine, but you can see it's designed quite a bit differently. It has a dual tail fin, so it catches the wind really quickly and can stay in line with where you get the most wind, so you're producing the most power.
Now looking too at the backside of the generation of these things, I'm used to Mack trucks that you're generating so much power for entire households. They've made them so much more efficient now that they're a lot smaller. A couple units now will run a building this size.
Well, it's not going to run the building, but it's going to make, they're getting closer and closer. They're maximizing the efficiency of using the wind, and as things get developed, there's even more various versions of the wind turbines that are available now. And that's what they're doing now is getting ready to put the shaft on, and then they'll pull the propeller out and put that on as well. I think they do one at a time. I don't know. I've never seen them do it before. That's kind of new for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Wind is really the most cost-effective way to make electricity.
How much do you think that weighs?
I think it's about, maybe
100 pounds.
Very, very few wind turbines in Fresno to begin with.
Right.
So this is pretty cool. They're going to put 4 up today.
Plant this with a, I'm not sure what type of grass, but if you're in a big city, you would use a vegetative root.
What are those?
And then we got the wind turbines. There's going to be a kiosk on the front that's going to show how much power we're getting from the wind turbine. Over there we'll have tables, and it'll be set up for actual classroom teaching. So these 2 rooms will kind of get used together. They'll never be just a classroom, just power tools. Well, what's going on today is what we've kind of been waiting for a year, 2 years, 3 years. They're finally doing the last parts of it, which is putting up the photovoltaic panels. And these are really big 315 watt sun power panels.
Can you put that in perspective for someone to understand, like maybe one panel will do what?
Well, it produces enough. It produces 315 watts,
Which
so it can run. Well, just think of
that
what
fan
if
right
you got
there? How about running that fan?
run that fan.
You're getting better and better at it.
Yeah. solar panels, as long as it's sunny, are always making power.
Now, with Clovis Unified here at Buchanan putting this together too and allowing this to happen for the kids, these kids now are hands-on right here, seeing everything happen. As the minds are turning now, you're melding the minds of the younger generation that all of a sudden are going to say, what if we did this? What about this? Hey, Mark, let's do this.
Right. Right inside here is the shop room. They'll be able to bring cars in here. They'll be able to assemble their own fuel cells. They'll be able to test wind machines. They can monitor all of the solar panels that are on the roof and figure out, okay, which ones are working better, which angle, which design.
Right.
Yeah.
Assistant Superintendent, Facility Services, Dawn Ulrich.
You know, the one thing about Clovis schools is that you never know what they're going to do, but it's always going to be something cutting edge, innovative, and creative, like this new facility is.
An environmental and energy pathway for Buchanan High School. I've never seen this many community members in my school over the course of the last 3 years, and to have you all here today is really special. When one area of the world suffer, we all suffer. That's an excerpt from Lorna's essay.
And that was a fabulous dedication, but this is what it's really about when the students finally get inside the green wonder. When we come back to Green Universe, let the learning begin.
This portion of Green Universe inside the Buchanan Energy Center is brought to you by F. Rogers Insulation and Specialty Contractor with 13 branches throughout the western United States.
So the thicker it is, the more insulating it is.
All their systems was insulated, from their water lines to their heating lines. They have a solar system that was insulated. So with the energy conservation, the more stuff you insulate, the more energy you're saving.
Are you proud of what has been accomplished with this building?
Oh, totally proud of what we did there. And it's good to see that, you know, people are really starting to notice the effects of insulation. See that with the green energy coming up front, it should open everybody's eyes to how valuable insulation is, and that you should definitely make sure you have it and it's done, and not to cut corners on it. It was definitely more of insulation than I've seen in the past.
More insulated, thought out.
Right.
Hello, welcome to Alviston.
There's a lot of good in green. You just have to know where to find it. Alviston.com. Visit the new Alviston.com, center of the green universe.
It gets really sunny here, needless to say. And so I want to give you one of the Alviston hats and protect your head.
I appreciate that, my friend. How does it look?
It looks gorgeous.
I love it.
Let's go in here. So these are the two shop rooms. They're basically connected to each other. Where they'll be doing, you know, the robotics that they're going to do here. They'll be able to manufacture, build solar panels.
It just seems like there was no, stone left unturned. You thought about every little thing and every angle just to make this building so much more efficient.
Well, it's not only efficient, but it is educational to the ultimate. So we can now, the kids that walk in here, it's just going to be sort of an unending green assault. They can look anywhere. Almost any one of the things that they're looking at could be a career.
Yes! Sylvia, Megan, Ansel, Brandon, go!
First time you've been inside the school?
We walked in here, but we haven't had class.
Yeah. Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So what are you expecting from this?
Well, I'm expecting this to be a cool classroom. I can tell it's gonna be a kind of cool classroom.
So,
I think what we'll do is we're going to probably do a lot of moving around. With your notebooks, you might be able to just, take notes on your lap. What is today? Today is the 6th. So group 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2. It's pretty cool. I've been in my current room, my old room. I can say my old room now for 18 years since we opened Buchanan High School. So this is quite a change. But I don't know, it's so nice. We've got natural lighting coming in here. I've been thinking a lot about how we're going to teach in this room. It feels good. The air quality is really good. The kids are much more comfortable. There's more space. There's more storage, and the storage is right next to where the students are going to be doing their work, their experiments. Right. And it's just a great, facility. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting. It feels good, especially, we've been working on this for years now. And actually be here. We've been here for 20 minutes now. 20 minutes in the new room, so that's pretty exciting. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over worksheet number 3, assignment 6, right? Getting used to this room is going to be interesting.
What do you think that is?
I would imagine some sort of straw, unless you cooked a lot of spaghetti and just smashed it together with some glue.
This is just one of those things, when you set your mind to it, you can do everything with the environmental green aspect. This is sugar cane.
Sugar cane.
And they are using it in this case for a soundboard, because this is a big, huge concrete room, and they want to absorb some of the sound. They're going to be doing mechanical things in here, so they want to keep the sound down.
Energy and Environmental Research Center. This is ground zero right now for green building. There is no other building like this in the world right now, in the heart of the Central Valley of California. I want to thank Mark Alvis for showing us around. If you want more information, alviston.com is the place to go. All kinds of things on that website to start thinking about the green building and maybe what you can do to help or to make your building, your facility, your house, whatever, that much better. And we're going to be bringing you a whole lot more right here on Green Universe.
This edition of Green Universe inside the Buchanan Energy Center is brought to you by IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Union Pipe Fitters, Plumbers, Service Technicians, Sprinkler and Steam Fitters, and by the Mechanical Contractors Council of Central California. These organizations are proud to be part of the advancements in green construction.